All right, welcome to Architects of Meaning. Today, we're diving deep inside the city of words. We're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden structure of language itself and show you the incredible, almost invisible blueprint that organizes every single word you know. Let's get into it. So, let me ask you something. When you think about all the words you know, what do you picture? Is it just a random jumble? A big chaotic pile that you just pull from when you need a word? For most of us, yeah, that's kind of how it feels. But the truth is, your vocabulary is a highly organized, intricate, and deeply interconnected system. So, the key here is to stop thinking about your vocabulary as some messy list and start seeing it for what it truly is: a complex, beautifully structured city, a city of words, if you will, with its own unique neighborhoods, connecting streets, and clear rules of the road. And today, we're going to take a look at its master blueprint. Okay, so our first stop on this tour is at the neighborhood level. In the world of linguistics, these are called lexical fields, or to stick with our metaphor, semantic neighborhoods. This is where words with related meanings all naturally cluster together. You can thank a linguist named Joost Trier for this idea way back in 1931. See, he had this brilliant insight that words don't just exist on their own. Instead, they're more like pieces in a mosaic. The exact meaning of any single word is actually shaped and defined, but all the other words that surround it in a particular area. And this slide just nails the concept perfectly. In our city of words, you've got, say, the financial district. This is home to words like stock, trade, and investment. And then maybe right next door, you'll find the culinary district with words like sauté, bake, and roast. Each group belongs to its own very distinct semantic neighborhood. Okay, so if lexical fields are the neighborhoods, you might be wondering, what about the individual buildings, the words themselves? How are they all connected? Well, that's where sense relations come in. You can think of them as the roads, the city's entire GPS system that maps out the precise relationships between every single word. And of course, these road maps didn't just appear out of thin air. They have their own architects. Linguists like John Lyons and D. Allen Cruz were basically the city planners. They were the ones who first detailed all of the specific types of relationships that connect our words, giving us the foundational grid for our entire lexical city. So what do these streets and avenues actually look like? Well, there are three main types you'll see everywhere. First up, you have synonymy. This is basically two different street names for the exact same destination, like sofa and couch. Then you've got antinomy, which are roads heading in completely opposite directions, like hot and cold. And finally, there's hyponymy. This is where a small, specific street, like Poodle, is really just one part of a much bigger avenue called Dog. Now, this whole blueprint, these fields and relations, this isn't just some dusty old linguistic theory, not at all. It's actually the foundational architecture for the incredible language tech we use every single day. We're now entering the modern digital city of words. So check out this number, 60 plus. What is that? Well, it's the number of super detailed lexical functions that were identified by a linguist named Igor Milchuk. These are basically highly specific rules for how words can combine. For instance, one function might link heavy to rain or strong to wind, because you just don't say strong rain, right? His work showed just how mind-bogglingly detailed the city's zoning laws really are. And all of that foundational work led directly to the kinds of modern marvels we have today. You've got WordNet, which is this massive digital dictionary from George Miller that groups words into sets of synonyms. It's like a huge comprehensive map of all those similar destinations. And then there's FrameNet, which takes it a step further. It links a word like buy to the entire commercial frame that has to include a seller, goods, and money. These things are the powerful GPS systems that navigate our digital city of words. All right, so we've toured the neighborhoods, we've mapped out the roads, we've even seen the city's modern digital version. But that brings us to the big question, right? Why does any of this blueprint actually matter in the real world? And look, that's a totally fair question. It might all seem like a purely academic exercise, but the reality is that the structure of this city has some pretty profound implications for our daily lives and the tech we all use. Because this blueprint, it's literally what allows us to build smarter AI that can actually understand meaning. An AI can learn that the bank in Riverbank and the bank in Financial Bank are totally different words because they live in completely different neighborhoods of the city. It's the engine behind better machine translation tools. And on a personal level, knowing this map helps all of us become more precise communicators and more effective language learners. So I'm going to leave you with this one last thought to chew on. If your vocabulary is a city, what neighborhood do you live in? Are you a lifelong resident of the scientific district, the artistic quarter, maybe the financial hub? Take a moment to think about the map of your own city of words. I bet it reveals a whole lot about who you are.